fate had it such that the Eastern Michigan coach at that time was traveling through Germany, and he happened to see me play, and he told me, come on over, try and walk on the team, and we'll see about a scholarship and stuff. And so basically, 1983 is when I took the journey over, and the adventure began in the United States. The following year is where I met my wife, who also was an athlete, came from Barbados, and she played tennis. And 9 years later, we got married, and then eventually we got Tristan and another girl, Nikita.
Grew up in Ann Arbor, born and raised, been here now 21 years. So I know this place better than anyone on the team probably. It's funny, during practices I can sometimes hear the announcers from Pioneer. So yeah, it's cool to be close.
I was playing even after college, all various different clubs all the time, and you would have never thought that, I would have never thought that something like that is going to happen to me. And it was in 1999, so just 1 week before our daughter was going to be born. And I was playing indoor soccer, and actually I played the whole game. And I felt a little queasy and a little out of breath, but I just thought, okay, a little out of shape maybe or something. Yeah, it happened on a Friday night, and I didn't have the normal symptoms that you hear about, an elephant sitting on your chest or big pain or anything like that. I was just having a little trouble breathing. And I drove myself home here, and I was too tired to go up the stairs, and just lay down on the carpet. And luckily my wife found me and brought me up to the bed. It's only on Sunday that we decided to go to the emergency room. So, well, we got to the emergency room, they did the EKG and all that, and then they said, Verghese, yeah, you had a heart attack on Friday. And that's when it all hit me, because I was just 36 years old.
My dad was my coach up to, I believe, age 12, and then he had actually cut me from his team.
Tristan was always playing a year up for quite a ways. Eventually, you don't want to stay with the same coach all your life. And eventually I knew, I don't want to keep coaching Tristan because I was probably the hardest on him. And so I sort of cut him and told him, go back to your own age group, found a different coach for him, and then I kept on coaching the other team, the older team.
I wasn't big enough at the time, and it was probably better for me to then go back down to my regular age group. But yeah, definitely a motivational tool, and he still kept working with me individually. He didn't just let me go. It was a dream come true. I was so excited to be visiting the school where I've grown up. I've gone to Michigan soccer camps when I was younger, when Steve Burns was the coach. From like ages 7 to maybe 12, I was going to the Michigan soccer camps and looking up to all the players there.
Eventually they did a bunch of tests, and they figured out that when my adrenaline goes, when I start dribbling and the adrenaline goes up, my heartbeat could go up to over 380 beats per minute, right? 380 beats is like unheard of, and they've measured that, and what it is the heart's not beating anymore, it's just quivering. And so there's no oxygen or blood being pumped to anywhere, and while I'm playing, when that happens, I pass out. And so twice emergency, EMS had to come and pick me up from the field and do all kinds of things, to revive me. I mean, so I've technically been dead twice already on the field. You can't just get a heart from off the shelf anywhere. So they put me on an LVAD, a left ventricular assist device. And so from being able to just play soccer all the time, suddenly I became like an 80-year-old man, But that operation, when they put the LVAD in, took a lot out of me. I was in the U of M hospitals for 41 days.
I would go with my mom and my sister to visit him in the hospital maybe 2 to 3 times a week. My mom mom did such an amazing job with my sister and I, getting us to practices, getting food on the table for us when he was in the hospital, because I can't even imagine what it feels like to have your husband hospitalized, not knowing if he's going to be home. So that really showed the character and strength my mom had in her. But yes, it was definitely hard to keep track of everything going on in my life, because literally every night you go to sleep hoping that your dad will be alive the next morning.
That's what one of the biggest things I missed, is going to see my son and daughter play. And Tristan used to come to visit and give me the stories about the games and things like that.
Definitely the hardest time of my life up to this point. To see your dad in the hospital, he would have tubes going through his mouth, his stomach. He couldn't really talk. I remember vividly going in on Christmas, getting to see him, and he literally couldn't speak to me, but he could see me, and I got tears in my eyes, tears in his eyes. Very emotional day for us.
The LVAD is basically a pump that they insert into you, and it's got big, like a computer sitting on my sides, big batteries, and somebody has to be with me at all times to make sure that the batteries don't go out, to listen to the beeps and things like that. So basically it was a bridge to transplant. The University of Michigan Hospital doctors, they always told me, Verghese, we do this all the time. You don't need to worry about this. We can do this in our sleep. And I was like saying, yeah, right. But sure enough, it took about 5 hours, and I was, slept for the whole night, and then I woke up, and when I looked down under my gown, I couldn't see the defibrillator was gone, the LVAD was gone. They took the stents out. Everything looks pristine, except I was all bandaged up. My modeling career was over. But no, I got out of bed and I could walk,
I wanted to be close to home. I wanted my parents to be able to see me play, because that experience I had with my dad in the hospital made me realize that I may never see him again after that, before his heart transplant. So right away I knew this was the school I wanted to come to. I wanted to be close to home so I could be with him.
They asked him, why did you pick the University of Michigan over the other schools? And he said, he felt comfortable with Coach Shaka, and he's a local boy. He always thought about maybe playing for Michigan. But then he also said that he wanted to pay back Michigan for saving his father's life. So
every time I went in to see him, I realized how hard everyone was working to get him healthy again. And so that was one of my other main reasons, is to give back to the school, give back to people that really changed my life, changed his life, gave me my father back.
So like me, he's seen a lot of the hospital, and injuries and all this stuff. And so he himself has been plagued by injuries through his career. And so, yeah, his time was limited too, his first 3 years.
The assist on the play is credited to number 16, Tristan Jacob.
Being able to see him in the stands when I'm out playing for Michigan has been just so special to me. It's what I wanted when I committed here, just to be able to make him proud.
Just having him walk out in that, the Block M jersey, and being able to start, I don't know how many games he started this year, 11 or something like that. Seeing him stand there in the lineup, in the national anthem and stuff, and I'm with my camera all around taking photos, and so yeah, it's a blessing.
You never know where life can take you and what's going to happen going forward. So I'm just taking in every moment with him, with my whole family. Is special to be here and close to them.
Sunita, my wife, and I, we've taught the kids that the short-term satisfaction is not the greatest, you know. You got to go through the long run, and that's what's going to count, you know. You got to keep at it and not give up.
Big ball in, the loose ball is there, and the goal by a two-heading gives Michigan their very first Big Ten championship. Let the celebration begin in Ann Arbor.